In the early 20th century, Antarctica became the ultimate proving ground for human endurance and ambition. It was a time when explorers risked everything to unlock the mysteries of the frozen continent, venturing into its icy expanse with little more than sheer determination and primitive equipment. Known as the heroic age of Antarctic exploration, this period earned its name not only for the remarkable feats achieved, but also for the lives lost in the unforgiving pursuit of discovery. This period of exploration began in the late 19th century and came to a close in 1917 with Ernest Shackleton's Imperial Transantarctic Expedition. During this period, the Antarctic continent became the focus of an international effort that resulted in intensive scientific and geographical exploration, and in which 17 major Antarctic expeditions were launched from 10 countries. Amundsen successfully reached the South Pole on December 14, 1911, taking a route from the Bay of Whales to the polar plateau via the Axel Heiberg Glacier. Scott and his 4 companions arrived at the South Pole on January 17, 1912, 33 days after Amundsen, having taken the Beardmore Glacier route. Unfortunately, all 5 men perished on the return journey, succumbing to starvation and the extreme cold. One of the most survival stories emerged from the 1911 Australasian Antarctic expedition, led by Douglas Mawson. Sailing south aboard the Aurora, Mawson and his crew braved the Antarctic's icy seas before setting up camp on the frozen continent. For over 2 years, they endured the harshest conditions imaginable, navigating uncharted terrain on grueling sledding expeditions into a land untouched by humanity. On one such journey, Mawson, accompanied by Xavier Mertz and Belgrave Ninnis, embarked on a perilous trek across the ice. For weeks, the trio pushed forward with their sled dogs until tragedy struck. Ninnis fell into a hidden crevasse, taking vital supplies and 6 sled dogs with him. The surviving pair were left with no choice but to turn back, facing nearly 300 miles of treacherous snow and ice with dwindling provisions. Desperation forced Mawson and Mertz to survive by eating their sled dogs, but even this grim measure wasn't enough. Mertz fell ill and died, leaving Mawson to make the journey alone. Battling hunger, exhaustion, and the brutal cold, he trekked for 30 more days. When he finally reached the safety of his base, his emaciated and battered appearance stunned his crew, who could barely recognize him. Though Mawson survived, the lure of Antarctica continued to draw explorers back, including some of his own men. Among them was Ernest Shackleton, whose ill-fated endurance voyage would become another legendary chapter in the heroic age. Trapped in ice and ultimately crushed, the Endurance left its crew stranded in one of the harshest environments on Earth. For months, Shackleton and his men clung to life on the desolate shores of Elephant Island. Shackleton, determined to save them, led a daring journey across 800 miles of open ocean in a tiny lifeboat to seek help. His resolve and leadership ensured that every member of his crew was eventually rescued. The first German Antarctic expedition was sent to investigate eastern Antarctica in 1901. It discovered the coast of Kaiser Wilhelm II Land and Mount Gauss. The expedition's ship became trapped in ice, however, which prevented more extensive exploration. The Swedish Antarctic expedition, operating at the same time, worked in the east coastal area of Graham Land and was marooned on Snow Hill Island and Paulet Island in the Weddell Sea after the sinking of its expedition ship. It was rescued by the Argentinian naval vessel Uruguay. The French organized their first expedition in 1903 under the leadership of Jean-Baptiste Charcot. Originally intended as a relief expedition for the stranded Nordenskjöld party, the main work of this expedition was the mapping and charting of islands and the western coasts of Graham Land on the Antarctic Peninsula. The ultimate prize of the heroic age of Antarctic exploration was reaching the South Pole. In 1910, 2 expeditions set out to achieve this goal. One led by Norwegian polar explorer Roald Amundsen aboard the Fram, and another by Robert Falcon Scott's British team aboard the Terra Nova.